Okay.
I think we're live at least. We got a chat here. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I'm gonna bring up YouTube.
Welcome.
Oh, I see a 0 between the eyes. We've got nobody yet. All right, I'm gonna share out some stuff. Because I posted it to, I mean, for all I know, I couldn't, on the other channel, I can't just upload a vlog from my phone, so I'm like, oh my god, this is accessible. I guess I have to take the video and then upload it.
Right.
I'll do that in a second. I'm so unprepared for all of the things. Yeah, you can tell that I have not done this in a while. And that I definitely should have double checked before last night. I don't know. I don't know if you can tell, this is very spur of the moment of, hey, we should do this, because that seems like a good idea. It's my face. Oh, Facebook, where do you put everything now? Where did they move? Oh, there it is. Like, where'd they move the pages? Technology is not my friend today, apparently. Share it to my feed. I don't even know. Should we talk about the apocalypse? Should we acknowledge what's going on?
I don't know. It might bring up a lot of controversy. I don't know, but you go outside in Selkirk area and you see all these people still going out, going to Walmart, going shopping, and not like distancing each other from, distancing from each other. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been out. I don't know. I'm a hermit at the best of times, so I haven't been out because I don't have an excuse to go out right now.
Right.
But I have seen my neighbors out and about a lot, which has been like, oh, whatever. I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, why does it feel like everyone is coming and going so much now that we've all been told, like, stay put?
I took my dog for a walk yesterday, and that was kind of nice because there was nobody on the sidewalks. The first time I took her out, which was like about a week ago, took her out for a walk down the sidewalks, and everybody would just stop. There were so many people, and everybody just stop and stare at each other and wait to see what direction you're going in so they know if they can continue or if they have to go somewhere else.
I kept doing that to people when I was out and about, and I'd just stand there and be like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Go about your business so I can get on the way.
Yeah.
All right, I'm posting to my Facebook. I mean, who knows? It may be an hour of us just sitting here chatting, which is
Oh, that's okay.
I think
how's your writing going?
Not bad. I got accepted for a thing. It is the Dark Ancients Anthology by Black Hair Press. Let me see if I can find a link to it. I don't know. That was the 100-word story I had kind of hinted at. So I submitted it and it got accepted. So I'm like, oh sweet, that was an easy 100-word throwaway thing.
Yeah, that's great.
So I can't say nothing, but
Yeah. Well, that's good. I know I've been going media crazy lately, and I started my own YouTube channel.
Well, that's good.
It's like Tania Stephanson's silly writing videos, and I'm using Snapchat filters just to talk about writing in my ebooks and suggestions for publishing your first ebooks and stuff. But they're all very short videos because Snapchat only records very short videos.
Oh, I guess so, yeah. I totally forgot about Snapchat. I always see stuff from TikTok now. But I guess that I think you have to have music with that. I don't know how TikTok. I don't know how all the young people thing work. I don't know.
I don't know what TikTok is. Never heard of it.
You know, I'm happy that we're even live streaming right now at the rate that it's going.
Yeah.
I feel like an old person. Don't know how to use anything.
We're getting older. No. Just joking. Yes, I know that was live on the internet.
Oh yes, and it will stay live forever.
That's okay. I don't mind. So, what is your opinion on giving realistic point of views or reviews on the platforms that you use? Like, if you have negative opinions about something in particular, how comfortable are you with going on the internet and stating how negative your experience was?
I don't know about like rant style videos, like where you're just straight unhappy. I think it's good to kind of give it a day or two and digest, and then kind of be like, well, these are the good things for these people, and this is what my experience was. I've talked to you a little bit about my thoughts on smash words, and while I understand why some people use smash words, and if it works for them, then that's awesome. I've had nothing but problems and hours of banging my head against a wall, so it kind of got to the point of my time is worth a little bit more than what I was spending there, and I went to Draft to Digital. So,
You know what? I've tried, I've done Amazon KDP, I've done Smashwords, Draft to Digital, Google Books.
I haven't fiddled around with Google Books yet.
Google Books is super easy, like nice. Really easy. And it's published in 79 countries.
Well, so that's a decent amount.
Yeah. I have to say that Smashwords, unfortunately, was the worst experience out of all of it.
I didn't want to color your experience too much. I felt like that was something everyone needs to experience for themselves, I think.
Yeah, you know what, though? I have to say that the customer service aspect of it was better than I anticipated.
Oh, that's good.
But it took a couple of weeks of back and forth for them to finally accept the fact that they needed to fix something on their end.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever gotten to the point of actually contacting support. I just kind of realized this is way too crazy and I'm just going to go somewhere else.
Well, it isn't simple. Like, there's just so much detail, so much information. It's too overwhelming. It's not as user-friendly.
Yeah, I find that there's a lot of different pages you have to jump through too. Like, you've got to dig around to put information in, like the ISBNs. I don't know why you wouldn't keep that with all the... they may have changed it. I try to avoid Smashwords if I can.
Yeah.
I have to go in there and unpublish the few short stories I have. And I feel bad for the people who probably enjoyed reading me there, but...
I don't have any sales yet. It's only been like 2 weeks.
I don't think I ever had any sales. I think I just have people that have favorited me and follow my stuff to see when I publish stuff. So it's like, whatever. Just go to my mailing list, guys. You'll probably get more useful information over there anyways. They tell you when I'm doing stuff.
You have a mailing list? Yeah? Okay.
I do. I have a main mailing list. It's been a while. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus. I'm sorry for all of my viewers who are sitting here being like, what has been going on and why are you like alive instead of dead right now since we haven't heard from you in a year and a half, maybe 2. Sorry, guys. It's been crazy.
But now that, COVID is allowing you more time and work.
Yeah. The COVID has given me more time to kind of sort myself out. I have a house. For those who have not kind of been in my private circles, it's been hectic. I'm in the sunroom right now, so hopefully when I have books and stuff set up and somewhere I can record, the videos will resume. That was the end. That was the goal a year ago, at least. So who knows? And where can people find you? Because you have put out a book recently that you could talk about.
Yes, that was a wonderful experience. It took a long time to really learn the ins and outs and formatting because I write in Microsoft Word. And so I had to learn about hitting the enter key for extra spacing is a big no-no. And you have to use page breaks, and your format of spacing is more about the spacing above and below lines rather than actually hitting enter. And also the problem that I came across with Smashwords was, when you're writing in Word, you have to use the header format to title your chapters so that when you create your table of contents, which you can do automatically, the hyperlinks need to work. So when I uploaded to other locations and I tested it, like Amazon Kindle and Draft2 Digital, and I tested the links, it worked 100%. It was very good. But Smashwords, it looked like it was in order. But if you clicked on chapter 1, it would take you to the end of the book. And if I clicked on the author info page, it took me to the beginning of the book. So it's fixed now.
Well,
it's actually fixed, which is great. But anyways, I'm on a whole bunch of places, including names I've never even heard of. But I'm on KDP or Kindle, which is Amazon, and Apple. I've made sales on Apple already on iBooks.
Nice.
And Kodo. It's Kodo, right? Not Kobo. Kobo.
I am not sure. I know they've gone through a few changes in the last few years, so they may have gone through a name change. Okay. Kodu. I'm not entirely sure. It definitely, unless they're separate from Kobo, which may be possible too. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's this one site that
always changing.
Oh, it is for sure. And I did a search for myself on a specific place that I know I'm selling at, and it opened in some different language. I don't know if it was like Switzerland or German, or I'm not very linguistic. And it was just, I was just giggling because I'm like, I can't even read this, but my name or my book is there in English.
So, nice. Well, that's good. Well, it's good though, because I mean, if you are, I think a lot of the times with that stuff, even if it's not translated, if you're away from home, sometimes you can't get to Amazon.com because of the way the redirects and stuff work. Mm-hmm. So at least then people who are studying abroad or like living in other countries can still download stuff even if they don't speak German or wherever they are.
Right.
Especially this day and age, like holy smokes, I can't imagine what the people who are stuck abroad are doing.
No kidding. Hey, do you have like a writer's Facebook page?
I do.
Author page? You do? Okay.
I do. I am on all of the places. Here, let's see if we can drop some links in the chat. I don't know how this works. I don't know how any of this works.
We will find out. So I guess we have to go with that would be live comments, I'm thinking, instead of the private chat.
I think so.
Oh, see, we can't enter it there, but we can read it.
Oh, we should do. Well, maybe you can't. Maybe it's just me.
Oh, could be. I can type in the private chat, but not the live. Was that your door?
No, that was me. Oh, I just make random mouth noises sometimes.
Okay, well, that's okay.
All right, there's my name. Kick from studio, ban from studio. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I like to guess.
Oh, there, I see it.
Well, I don't know how to make it. You should be able to comment too. I'm not sure why you can't.
Maybe I can add a comment later.
Maybe.
Look at that.
But yeah. I can toss. I know where your page is.
Oh, there you go.
I can go and toss yours in there. You gotta You don't have a website, correct? You just have the Facebook page right now?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just have the Facebook page, and then I also have the YouTube channel.
Oh, do you know what is your YouTube channel? I can go and find that too.
It's Tania Stephenson's silly writers videos.
And do you publish them on your Facebook?
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page too.
All right, I will go from there so I don't want to swear because I'm trying to be PG. I don't want to mess up the link that I send to people. It would not be the first time.
Yeah. Oh no, it sounds like a story.
I liked, especially when I have sent pictures of hedgehogs, videos of hedgehogs doing weird things to people. That one's a good one. Thinking it's an informational video or something, they'll get a hedgehog looking itself or something like that. Those are always my favorites where it's like, whoops, that's not the right link. That really seems out of context, but I'm sorry.
Whoops.
All right, I think there should be all sorts of links and goodies in the chat for people. I threw up my Facebook. I guess I'll put my YouTube up there too. I'm gonna throw some subscribes out while I'm around though. Oh, hey! I'm your first and second subscriber.
Yay!
So go over and subscribe to Tania's stuff and follow her pages. I think I'm following you on Facebook already too, so.
Yeah, I'll have to go to your Facebook page. I don't think I'm following you other than just the personal friend connection.
I am not entirely sure. Because I know you gotta kind of jump through some hoops to like it as a page or something like that.
Right.
I bet Facebook changes stuff so much. Every time I think I know where something is, it's not there. I guess that's the nature of it, but
yeah, it changes all the time. They completely change their formats, like what, monthly?
I would think at least, if not more.
So what are you writing right now?
Right now, well, I was working on, I have to work on this novel about a serial killer kind of soulmate situation. I've been talking about it for I think about 5 years now.
That sounds about right.
Yep. I've been talking about all my books for a while. So I'm working on that one because it's supposed to be kind of a standalone, and it involves a doctor and a disease and a pandemic. So it's like, maybe this is a good time.
This is a good time. Although it might be very real for people too, right? So if it was something that was ready for publishing, it might be too realistic yet.
It's not quite ready. It's probably on its second draft. I have it actually written out. I actually wrote the manuscript for NaNoWriMo 3 years ago. I wrote it a while back during NaNoWriMo, one of the years that I won. And now I've got it. I got to type it up, which is the worst part about writing by hand because it sucks. And it's monotonous.
Oh, for sure.
And especially when you haven't gone through the manuscript in like 2 years, you see all the errors and it's like, oh my God.
Do you find a real benefit in writing by hand instead of on the computer?
I personally do. I find that I get my ideas out a little bit better and I can kind of catch mistakes when I'm typing it up. That's kind of, that is part of the process because then it's like, oh, this whole chunk does not make sense. I may have thought it made sense when I was writing it at 2 a.m, but now it does not make sense.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I find that I can catch that stuff a bit easier, plot holes and stuff like that.
I've been thinking about trying it, but my problem right now is that, personally speaking, I've been advised to reduce my screen time due to seizures. So I thought, maybe if I try to write more so by hand, then I'll have less time on the computer, because right now it's like I write it on the computer, I edit it on the computer, all the formatting's on the computer, but I figured, if I write by hand and try it.
I'm gonna, what is the name of that pen? I've been looking at this pen forever, and it may be, oh man,
You told me about this. That's the thing that scans the words or something? Is that
yes, I was looking at a new one. I used to have a live scribe, which is basically as you write, it detects what letters you're writing, and it'll basically be able to transcribe it once you upload it to a computer. The software was a little it didn't scan it very well. So I've been looking for an alternative because I lost my pen at some point. I'm like, so now if I can find where I
dropped an
F-bomb. It was an F, and it was that was it.
Yes, I have a recorder. I have a voice recorder, and it's compatible with Dragon software, which it has,
nice.
so that I can write like verbally. But the issue is it was so sensitive. I have to change the settings. I have to play with it some more, because it's kind of picking up so much that by the time I plug it in, it's just all mumbo jumbo. But if I'm sitting with absolutely no sound around me, I'm not out and about, I'm sitting in my room or something quietly with no sounds in the backgrounds, it works. But if I'm like driving, not like driving myself, but you know what I mean, like sitting in the passenger seat recording or whatever, then it doesn't work as well.
Yeah, I guess so, because probably the ambient noise is not super great, I would think.
Right. And it's really hard because you got to say the word period and new line and capital.
That is what kept me from kind of switching to audio formats for stuff.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird to say period, line break, comma. And voice to text doesn't work so well for me because I have the smallest little bit of a lisp on my S's and my T's.
Oh, I didn't notice.
As soon as I say it, people usually notice it because I do have kind of like a at the end of certain things.
Okay.
So
now I'm listening for it.
Yeah, now you're listening for it. You'll hear it on my T's and my S's, just the slightest little bit. And it's just enough that it throws off most voice to text stuff, so I don't bother most of the time. Woe was me.
Yeah.
It could be worse. I shouldn't complain. It could be much worse.
That's okay.
But I don't know. Yeah, I've heard lots of people have had success with Dragon actually speaking and different voice to text stuff. I don't know about I'm sure you could just use your cell phone too if you
that's
clear enough. I'm not sure.
And I tried using a headset, so I plugged in the earbuds. But the earbuds, then I could hear myself talking while I was recording. So that didn't work very well.
That does not work.
Again, I got to play with the settings. I'm sure there's more settings to drown out, mute it or something.
Yeah. That would make sense.
Yeah,
I think what I've heard with Dragon naturally speaking, people suggest that you train your Dragon to understand your voice a bit better. I don't know if that's something.
Yeah, it is. It's true. I had to. So when I got the recorder, it came with the disc for Dragon on its own. Mm-hmm. So it was meant to work together. So then you install it, and then they give you a very specific thing to read. So then you have to read it, which I didn't realize you have to say period and comma and all this other stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
So then you read this thing and you test it. Then you plug it into your computer, and it translates it for you into text. So anywhere you click, as soon as you hit a button, the next... Oh, my dog's going. Anyways, Yeah. So as soon as you push the button, wherever you click it is where all the text shows up, wherever you are on your computer.
Oh.
So then it all comes out, and it worked really well. But I guess they say the more you talk and the more you use the Dragon app, the better it learns how you speak.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I mean, part of it is sort of AI stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Machine learning and stuff like that. I might not be right. I might not know what I'm talking about. I probably don't know what I'm talking about.
I never know what I'm talking about. I pretend like I do, but
I'm really good at pretending like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Do you ever look at yourself on the video and be like, I look terrible. Like I hate myself on video.
I try not to.
I'm like staring at you, but I can see beside me. It's like, that's me over there. I'm not looking. Don't look at you.
I think I don't know if I found this pen yet. Open book. It's like reusable paper and pen and stuff. I saw it and I was like, oh man, that is the neatest thing possible.
That's a good idea. I'll have to add it to my, my Mother's Day wish list whenever you find it.
Well,
hey, Mother's Day is coming.
I'm looking. I feel like I've almost found it. Elfin book, built for a digital age. Why do these pens not look like the one I remember though?
His technology has changed, as it does day by day.
Yeah, no kidding. You go to do something and nothing works.
Yeah. So true. I'm looking at, I have this old phone sitting here, and it's a Samsung, and I remember when I got it, I was like, this is so cool. And now I've got this, and it's like, wow, this is even cooler. And every time you get a new phone, it's something completely different and completely new, and it's crazy. What's that?
I can't find this thing now.
Oh no.
I thought I saved it. I'll be so sad because I was really wanting to buy one.
I wonder how much those things would be.
I don't think it was that much, which is why I was like, oh man, I'm going to grab it at some point. And now it's lost to the ethers of the internet. I don't know. Maybe this is the right one. Okay, I'll put this here. It may or may not be the thing that I saw in my Facebook feed, but it's pretty close. And I'm pretty sure that was the name of it. That just might not be the exact website. I want to try this at some point, though. So basically, you write on it, and then you got the reusable paper and stuff, so then you're chopping down less trees, I guess, in theory.
Oh, a smart reusable notebook.
Yeah.
That's actually reasonable, too.
But then, it comes with, I'm pretty sure it comes with being able to, transcribe stuff. And if it's not, then I misread. And I'll be very sad. This doesn't feel like the same website, though. .co.
Oh, here we go. It is built for the digital age while providing a classic pen and paper experience. With the touch and feel of a traditional notebook, the Elfin book is endlessly reusable and connected to all of your favorite cloud services like Evernote, OneDrive, Dropbox, and Google Drive.
Yeah, I feel like
a YouTube video later.
I feel like I read somewhere that it does what's it called? ACR?
Okay.
So basically what that does is it will transcribe written pen to, if it's an image, it'll change it to vector points on the computer, and if it's text, it'll convert it to text. So it'll make it digitized, essentially, using an app, I think. But that's what I'm not sure about, because I may have just misread that, and I'll be really sad if that's the case, because That's what I'm looking for. Something that makes it so I don't have to type anymore.
Yeah, that's just it. I don't mind the typing, but I guess the screen is an issue for me. So
yeah, totally.
It is what it is.
Totally understand that. Well, and because I do, whatchamacallit, I do development, computer code writing for my full time, so I'm in front of a computer all the time. And that's the other aspect of why I write by hand, is because then you're not, otherwise that's like 20 hours in front of a computer at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a lot. I do the same thing. I'm on the computer all day. I'm a production planner, and I work in Excel a lot with a lot of big formulas, and I write code for SQL. So I'm pulling, I'm querying all the time. So
and then you're squinting.
Yeah, I'm leaning forward and I'm staring at the screen.
I know, I do the same thing. I'm really bad about it. I'm like, okay, stretch your shoulders.
Oh yeah, that's a really bad thing too. I know. You go for a walk, and then I have this lovely thing that is a physio ball. So on my break, I literally stand against the wall and like put it in whatever muscle is sore and like roll it so that it loosens the muscle.
Oh, nice. That probably would be handy for like NaNoWriMo when you're like doing sprints constantly to like stretch it out.
You know, I've never been one for doing sprints. I find that when it's flowing, and I can't stop. So I go until I can't go no more physically.
Yeah. I don't know. I find, I don't know. Some people take sprints very seriously, I find. And then the shorter ones work for me better, where it's like, 15 minutes, just write quick. And then just like, all right, take a pause, kind of digest, maybe chat a little bit. And then it's like, hey, 15 more minutes, you write for a little bit, and don't take it so seriously if you can't write anything.
Right. Yeah.
I'm very relaxed about my writing, but that's probably why I don't get more novels.
How do you have any? How many full novels do you have sitting there just in rough?
I have 2 full novels and a novella and lots of short stories. I've actually been working on submitting short stories recently. That's kind of been my recent goal, which I've successfully I've been accepted for 1. I've gotten 2 rejections so far, but rejections are something too. They're milestones. 1 was personalized, but it's for a weird story, so it's like, I get it if you don't want it.
Yeah.
Totally understand.
I haven't been submitting anything. I think my biggest goal this year was to start publishing my own ebooks, even if it's just a short story, just to get something out there. Mm-hmm. But I like I'm kind of a control freak when it comes to my own stuff. So I like doing the self-publishing aspect of things. But I know that I should. Yeah, I don't know. I can't even put it into words. I'm very picky.
No, I totally understand. And that was actually one of the major considerations for me doing self-publishing, was I wanted to have the control to talk about certain subjects without having them be politically influenced, I guess would be the way to put it.
Right.
I write a lot about paranormal and history and religion, all sort of mushed and kind of what ifs. And I know that can tend to get skewed based on who's kind of helming the ship on occasion. So that's kind of why I've taken that standpoint of like, no, I want to be able to say, no, this name has to be this name, that kind of stuff, because I don't know, to me it matters. It's those small little details of like, well, you can't call Luce for something else because he's a big player and I chose him for a reason, kind of thing. And that's why I've chosen to go with self-publishing, is for the creative control aspect of it.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I didn't realize that how easy it was. Like, yeah, it did take time, but I thought that it was going to be a lot harder. But I mean, I did tons of YouTube watching and research, and obviously I asked you like 1,000,001 questions, but that's how
There's so much information out there these days.
There is, and there's so many differences in opinion, like what paper do you use and what size are your and all this other stuff. So, but it's easier than I thought, and I don't think people realize how easy it is, and they're so intimidated. Like I was intimidated by, oh my gosh, how do I get something published? Who do I go to? What company do I go to? And then when you actually start doing the research, it's easy to do the self-publishing. It's time consuming, but easy.
Well, and I think what I've noticed because I guess I first started publishing the short stories for Revival in 2011. So it's been about 9-10 years-ish. And I have noticed that in the long term, you get into a routine of knowing what works for you.
Right.
And then refining it as you go along. So it's like, well, I know at this point I don't waste my time with Smashwords because it equals at least a day of me fighting against technology that is better spent doing something else.
Right.
Or like I have templates. I'm a big believer of templates and Scrivener. So I have a short story and a manuscript and a novella template for each. And then I just kind of use the same end matter and adjust it as necessary. And then you kind of waste less time on the setup and it's consistent throughout each of your books. And that's just, you figure it out as you go along.
I've never tried Scrivener. Like, I know I've heard about it over the years, and I've kind of looked at what it is, but I've never actually tried it. And I'm wondering, like, because I pay for my Office subscription, the 365. So I'm wondering what Scrivener is like, and if it's worth the investment.
Well, I feel like I've bought Scrivener like 3 times now at this point, which I probably have for different computers. And for the new version, because I used to have a Mac and then I jumped to Windows because I was getting infuriated. And I don't know, I guess $60 for the amount of time it saves me and just having everything organized, I find that it was worth the money for me. But I've also had it for a long time at this point, so it's more of so I don't think they may have changed since I've bought it recently, but I don't think they're on a subscription model. I think it's
a one-time purchase.
I think it's a one-time purchase, and then you install the app and you get updates and stuff. So in my mind, a one-time purchase of about, it may even be lower than $60 now, but I think for me, it saves me time and money since I have the templates and stuff, but there's no reason you can't do that for like Word or something like that. Essentially, Scrivener is just Word on steroids kind of thing. That would be how I describe it. I had to let my cat in.
I know, I'm listening and the dog's going crazy in the backyard and the kids are out there playing hockey and I'm thinking, I wonder if I should go let the dog in or something, but
yeah, I could see him sitting by the door, so I'm like, oh, let him in. Yeah, I don't know. I've found that Scrivener has been very helpful and it saves me time, but everyone's kind of got to find their own thing, right? And sometimes it takes a little bit of trial and error, but you find what works for you. I find that the export is definitely what's the most helpful.
Okay.
You just kind of set it and forget it. With like the page margins and all that kind of stuff, you can save that in the template, so then it's in a year or two when you get to your novels, you're like, how did I export this last time? And it's just done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a good idea to build a template. I mean, now that I understand the formatting aspect of Word, before you transition into like an EPUB or whatever, that's a good idea. I could probably make myself a template and just reopen it and save it and use it just to have all the formatting done.
Well, and it's those little kind of shortcuts that you'll kind of develop as you publish a few more things, or just kind of get frustrated with how much time you spend on certain things.
Yeah, the only thing that was a big fight for me was deciding what pricing to put on my book, because the thing is being my first time, I invested in the cover art and I paid something for it, and also I just, it's my first thing so to put it up for like 99 cents to me wasn't worth the stress and the time and the effort and the money that I invested into it. So I listed it at $2.99 just as the lower price point for your bigger profit margins.
Yeah.
But I doubt I'm going to get a ton of sales at $2.99 for a short story.
Well, it's hard to say. I know that I've read a few things on kind of deciding prices, and they say not to mark things too low either, because people will see it as not being high quality. Like you're already setting the bar low. So they say to actually set your prices a tiny bit higher. And that may be part of why my revival stuff, I don't know. A post-apocalyptic's also kind of weird in itself. I don't know.
It's all too real right now. It's all too
well, and that's part of the situation. I know I've heard some people speculating that post-apocalyptic may not sell super well depending on the subject matter right now.
Yeah,
I think part of it is short stories. Short stories are kind of, they're their own small demographic, I think, is part of the situation as well. Less people read short stories, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm wondering how many people sell their anthologies well, because I've got so many short stories and so much like little things ready that it wouldn't be much for me to just merge it all together and sell it as one unit. But I don't know if that sells better than a short story, because a short story you're normally buying, for a very specific genre, where the anthology is going to be a mixture of everything. So it doesn't have, I don't think it has as big of a target audience.
It probably depends on the anthology. I mean, in terms of voices, that anthology has a wide array of genres, but in terms of anthologies, like the one of Black Hair Press with the Dark Ancients, they specified that it is dark paranormal historical. So then it is sort of narrowed down for a specific demographic at that point. And I'm not sure about anthologies. Hard to say. I mean, it depends on the marketing too, because you get in what you get out what you put in, sort of thing in that regard, which is it is the world we live in, where you've got to pay to get your name out there these days, because there's so many people doing it now.
Yeah.
Visibility.
Have you ever done like did you publish on KDP?
Yes, I did not publish on KDP Select though.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing Select either. Otherwise then you kind of limit yourself.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of putting, as a lot of people refer to it as, all your eggs in one basket, which is kind of that situation. And I'm not huge on that personally, because it's good to diversify, have multiple streams of revenue.
And I wasn't big on doing it for like giving it away for free, like giving my short story away for free, because I'm just starting out. I don't have enough out there. So in order to make any kind of a profit margin on anything, you don't want to give your first stuff out for free. So doing the Select, it's like, okay, that gives them the power to put your book up for free. And it's like, as much as I want to get readers, I think it would be beneficial at one point to have one thing up on Kindle Select to advertise for your name. But if you only have one thing published, then there's no point.
Well, and that was something I kind of ran into with Revival, because the prologue is free, so people can get the first chunk for free and read it and see if they kind of like the feel of it. And I did that from the get-go with the intention of having the other ones paid for. And I don't know if I've really seen a whole lot. I've seen some kind of impact from that. I've actually seen more I've seen more impact when it comes from YouTube videos and then people bubbling through and finding out that I have a free book and then like, oh, I'll give it a shot. But in terms of kind of organic people finding the free one, there's so many people that have something free that you get for signing up for a mailing list or following on a specific thing or doing a specific thing. It's kind of, I feel like the market's almost flooded with that kind of strategy.
Right.
I think these days it's more about being creative. Like I have a Patreon and I have to reevaluate if Patreon is kind of the best avenue.
Okay.
Be fluid kind of with your approach. If something's
Yeah.
not working, don't be afraid to kind of reapproach it. I haven't had a patron since I started, basically, other than my ex-boyfriend trying to get me back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, please, I'm going to refund your money. I don't know, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I'll buy your book if you go out with me.
So yeah, it's just kind of, you got to decide what's working and if it's worth the effort sometimes. It's kind of like if I don't have patrons on Patreon at this point. Oh no, I have had two others. Sorry, I forgot about them. They had to stop for monetary reasons, and that's kind of, totally understand that. And that's kind of the other aspect, is you got to find what works for your readers too. Because if you're not going where you go, sorry.
What's a Patreon?
So Patreon is this website where content creators, I'll toss a link. It's a website where content creators can put stuff up for people who, you can do monthly subscriptions or buy content. And they basically are patrons of your work and kind of fund your, I want to say bad habits, but your lifestyle, your creative lifestyle. So I'm not sure. Right now I have it set up in sort of a subscription style where you get exclusive content and stuff. And I'm not sure if people were necessarily interested, or I'm not established enough, because that's something that they say at Patreon, is that people who have a more established brand, like bigger YouTubers and stuff, will do better on Patreon. But if you're kind of just starting out and a little smaller, then not so much.
Okay.
So it may be a piece by piece, where if you pay for this short story, you get it here, kind of thing. But hard to say. I think I gotta publish more novels is more my bigger problem right now.
Yes, and I think that's a huge thing. Like the editing process absolutely sucks.
Yeah. That's where I kind of drag my heels. I have no problem writing the manuscript. That's the fun part. It's going back and reading it and being like, oh my God, I'm so bad at what I do sometimes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I've done NaNoWriMo like 5 or 6 times. So I literally have like 6 novels plus what I've written outside of Nano, just sitting there, and it's piling up and piling up and piling up. And I'm talking to my husband, and I'm like, I really enjoy doing Nano. It really sparks the creativity, and I'm loving it. And he goes, well, how much do you have written? I'm like, well, I've got, like 6 novels. I've got this other stuff outside of Nano. I've got all these short stories. And he's like, so do something with what you already have. You don't need to write anymore. Edit it.
See, like, but if you stop writing, you get rusty. That's the catch-22. I'm definitely feeling it going back through my novels, that I'm a little rusty. I am better. I have improved as a writer since I have written them, but I have still got improvements to make.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes a lot of time, that's for sure. And I know that a lot of people invest in like professional editors. And I mean, I think that's great once you're established and once you have a regular income. But until you get that income, you don't have the extra funds to just throw hundreds or if not thousands of dollars towards your editing. So I'm trying to find a way to self-edit as best as I possibly can.
I'm going to give you a secret.
What's that?
I'm going to share a link to a while back, I had the need to, where is this page on my website? A while back, I had the need to self-edit my stuff because I realized that there was a lot getting through that I didn't want to. So I found this online tool that I absolutely swear by.
Yay!
Pro Writing. Pro Writing Aid. It is my favorite thing in the world. basically, before I submit anything, it goes through several rounds of editing in ProWriting Aid. I think it's subscription based now. I bought it back when it was $100 and I got a lifetime subscription. I think that was before they switched. So I've had it for years at this point. But I highly recommend it, and I think there is a free tier, so even if you don't have money, you can still kind of use it. It's similar to Grammarly, except more geared towards creative writing and other writing styles. So definitely recommend that one. And in terms of editing and paying for it, I think for novels, it's good to do stuff like ProWriting Aid. Oh, I shared the premium link. I should have shared the other one. It's good for ProWriting Aid is good kind of like for the first few iterations, but I think before you publish stuff like a novel, it should, well, proofreading for sure, because you always need a second set of eyes, but I think there should be an editor involved near the end of the publishing at least, kind of just to catch like plot holes or like stuff that is completely out to left field. Short stories are a little easier because they're smaller, more condensed, but novels, I think you do need someone to look at that overall structure and be like, right.
Yeah, my husband's really good for that stuff. He really is like, not to reveal too much about Red Leaves, but in the last chapter, there's this section where this girl comes out of the bathroom and she's in a towel and she's wrapped in this towel. And then there's this big scene that goes on. And in that scene, I don't mention once that she is still wearing a towel and it could fall off at any minute. And then Sean's like, you do realize that she's still in her towel, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that. And the thing is that parts of this have already been published in Voices years ago. And I rewrote it in first person perspective instead of third. And I completely just, whatever, here it is.
Yep.
It's fixed now.
Yeah, well, and those are the things you definitely need like another human being to look at, because as much as ProWriting Aid and stuff like that will catch the technical stuff, you need someone, you need that human aspect to say, now, if you're doing Kung Fu in a towel, it's going to fall off.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, but at least now I've mentioned he's holding the towel up, when he grabs her because it's going to fall. And it's,
Yeah, it's definitely hard to kind of get all the kinks out. I know that's for sure. I mean, even I've looked at stuff that I've submitted for Voices and it's like, oh, there's a typo there, and I don't know how any of us missed it with the amount of proofreading and editing that goes on with Voices. Everything, at the end of the day, you can't get 100%. And
no.
That's something that people, I think, need to keep in mind, especially early on.
Yeah, for sure. I'm learning that, and my intent with Red Leaves, honestly, was just to grab the original that was already published and just get it out there. But then I started reading it, and like I've been writing so much in the past few years that I've changed so much that I shouldn't have started reading it because I'm glad I did. It's fixed now. But when I read it, I'm like, wow, I was not that great a few years ago. So I'm glad I rewrote it.
Yeah, I definitely have done that with Revival, and I am planning on packaging Revival in a anthology, I guess.
Okay.
I guess that's what it would be. As soon as I get off my butt and write a blurb for it, add that on the things I need to do.
Yeah.
So at some point I will do that, and I am putting it off slightly because I know I have to read through the whole thing, and it will be horribly painful to read through stuff I wrote 10 years ago. Because that is the nature of writing, I think. And that is something I'm saying to new and experienced writers, is that you can't be too hard on yourself because you are always growing. And the stuff you did a few years ago or even a few months ago will look horrible in comparison to what you're writing at the moment.
Yeah, it's true. And even when I look at those nano stories, the nano stories are so rough. Like, it's just,
Well, especially during nano, because there's an intensity and a speed to it that you don't have outside of that month.
Yeah.
And for those of you who haven't done nano, totally recommend it if it works for you. Doesn't work for everybody. Totally understand that. But I have found success with it. Even writing by hand, I always hit the word count. It's not easy, but it's doable.
Yeah, it is. It's great for the people that just don't have a hard time getting to like the full length of a novel. It kind of forces you to push yourself to get to that 50,000 words.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not, if you want to start with good quality writing and want it to be as good as possible while you're writing it, it's not the thing.
Yeah. Do not publish your manuscript from nano right after you're done.
No.
So let it sit. I always tell people that writing is like a steak, coming from the vegetarian. I know that this is maybe not the most sound advice coming from the vegetarian, but writing is a lot like a steak. When you take it out, you want to let it rest before you cut it. And that's the same with editing. You want to cook your steak, cook your novel, set it aside and let the juices rest and kind of mush together, and then cut it with the editing and plate and serve.
Very good way of putting it.
So yeah, kind of keep that in mind. So don't rush yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's easy to do.
And don't forget, don't be afraid to write whatever comes to you. That is the biggest thing if you want to have something that's, really something people can connect to and enjoy and love the excitement. If you hold yourself back in what you're writing, then you're just holding your readers back from enjoying it.
And people will pick up on it. It won't. You won't necessarily want to think that, but people will definitely pick up on it, because people pick up on subtleties in your writing that you may not necessarily see.
Right. Yeah. That's like using the word look. He looks at me. She looks over there.
Or quickly.
I look around. Yeah, quickly.
Quickly.
Don't use the ly words.
Yeah, those are bad. Well, and that's stuff like Pro Writing Aid is really good, because I found that I was using a lot of that stuff before I started using Pro Writing Aid, and I could see what mistakes I was making, and I actually added, I think you can add little keywords and stuff for it to look for specific words that you use a lot. So I actually added quickly into my list of do not use words, because that's one of my ticks. So
yes, I've never used Grammarly either. So Grammarly I've never used any of those kind of programs before. I just use Microsoft Word and then just go through the spell check. And it does some grammar, but very limited.
Yeah, it's very, very high level. And when it comes to nuances with creative writing or sentence structure, it's definitely need another app after that.
Right.
So, I haven't looked too much at Grammarly because I've had Pro Writing Aid forever, but I know Pro Writing Aid is more geared towards actual like academic and creative writing, so it might work a little bit better for that. But you gotta find what works for you. Test it out. If it doesn't work, you try Grammarly or something else.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I guess we should wrap up. I'm gonna post a link to your author spotlight page on the Lake Winnipeg Writers Group website, since you are our author in the spotlight for the next few months. So anyone who's watching, go check out that link wherever it is. I'm going to put it in the description as well for the video. And have a good rest of your Saturday. We'll try and hopefully stream on the actual Lake Winnipeg Writers Group. Well, I will for sure. I don't know if Tania or anyone else will be joining me after this, but we'll kind of play it by ear. And hopefully keep in touch with everybody while the craziness is going on.
Yes, and stay safe and wash your hands.
Stay safe. Don't do anything crazy. Now is not the time. Get some writing done. Now is the time to get writing done.
Perfect time.
And we will see you guys next weekend, I guess.
Sounds good. See you guys.